let's jump right into the video. My last video, I said that skin prep is always important, so I did that off camera. Then right here, you see me putting on a lip mask. Just having my lips to be moisturized while I'm doing my makeup. Then I'm using my e.l.f. primer. I'm pressing it into my skin because I want it to be tacky when I apply my foundation. Now, today's look is a full glam. So I'm putting on Laura Mercier translucent powder on my brows. Just pressing it in because I don't want these brows to go anywhere. This is full glam, okay? Then I'm going in, I'm brushing the powder into my eyebrow hairs with the back of the spoolie on my pencil brush. And I'm going to go ahead and start filling in my eyebrows. Now remember in my last video I said that eyebrows are cousins, not twins. They don't have to look exactly alike, but you want to make sure that they are symmetrical with your face. So right here I'm going in with a flat brush to conceal the bottom of my brows. After I use my concealer to go underneath my eyebrows, I'm going to drag that down a little bit just to have that for the base for my eyeshadow. And then I'm going to blend that in. I'm going to use a dense brush and I'm going to use my pressed powder to blend that in. Today I'm going to use Morphe's 35P palette, and in this palette I'm going to use two colors. One is going to be a light brown. This is going to be my transition color, and then the second color is going to be a darker brown. I'm going to put that right on top of that transition color, right on top of my eyelid. Right here you see me starting. I'm doing sweeping motions. This is my transition color, so this is the first color that you're going to see. And then I'm going to go in with the darker brown. I'm going to place that right on top. And then I'm going to use patting motions. You'll see. And right here, I'm using my darker brown. Like I said, I'm using patting motions. I just want this in a designated area, which is my eyelid. I don't want to blend it into my transition color because then you won't see that there are two shades on the eyelids. Then I'm going to clean off my brush, go back in with the same brush that I used for my transition color, and I'm going to blend those edges out. You don't want any harsh lines and any demarcation to show from the two colors that you use. Just blending that out on both eyes. Let's get to the fun part. This is the cut crease. I tried to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see how I cut my crease. I didn't want to zoom in too close, but today I'm using my P. Louise. I think this is shade number 2, which is the peachy nude color. And I'm using that same flat brush that I used to conceal the bottom of my eyebrows. So right here, you want to take your time with doing a cut crease. It took me a little while to get used to it and having a steady hand, but you have to take your time with cutting your crease. You want to start in the inner corner and then make a half a moon shape, if that makes sense. One trick that I learned from a makeup artist is to make little dots in the shape of the shape that you want, and then you can connect the lines. I actually like that, so that's what I have been doing. But right here, you see me, I'm just taking my time because I want my line to be sharp and precise. So remember, take your time when doing a cut crease and have a steady hand. So after you get the shape that you want to use the rest of the product that is on your flat brush and just drag that on top of your eyelid. This is going to be your base for the color that you're going to use. So if you try to do a cut crease or any type of bright colors and you don't have something underneath of it to make it pop, your colors are going to be really dull and you're not going to be able to tell that you actually did a cut crease or you have bright colors. So just drag the rest of the product onto the eye, and then what I tell my clients when I do a cut crease is to keep the eye closed. Because this is a wet product, you don't want to open up your eye to crease it. You want to keep it closed until you seal it. So I actually seal my product that I use for cut crease with translucent powder. So I did do my other eye off camera, but right here you see me pressing in the translucent powder on top of it so it doesn't crease or crack when I open up my eyes, and it makes it easy for me to put on my color on top of it. Go in with your transition color, which is the lighter brown, and blend out that line. You don't want to see it. You don't want any harsh lines on the lid. So I'm just going in with my transition color, and I'm literally putting that right on top of where my cut crease is, and I'm blending it out with a soft hand, going back and forth, and then I'm going in with that second darker brown color, and I'm using that towards the end to buff it out to give like a gradient effect. going in with my Juvia's palette Warrior 2, and I'm using the light peach color, the lightest color in there, not the grayish color. But I'm going to put that right on top of my cut crease base. So this is the soft nude look that I'm going for my full glam look today. And remember, go back in and blend. You don't want any harsh lines on your lids. You don't want any harsh lines anywhere when you're doing makeup. The key to makeup is blending. You have to blend. Now I'm going in with my foundation, which is going to be NARS Radiant. I think it's Makoa. I'm going in, I'm putting this all over with a flat brush, and then I'm going to go in and blend with my foundation blush. So because today's look is a full glam look, I went in with a different concealer. I'm using MAC NC 45, I believe. And I'm going right under my eyelids with this. And I'm also going to put it on my chin and my forehead. I love this concealer because it's very thick. It gives me full coverage and you don't have to use a lot. Going in with that same flat brush that I used for my concealer, I'm going to put my highlight on my forehead to carve out the front of my eyebrows. I don't want a boxy look. You don't want your eyebrows to look boxy. You want them to look natural. So be careful when you carve out the front of your eyebrows with your concealer. And to remember, your concealer is always going to be 1 to 2 shades lighter than your actual complexion. After I put on my concealer, I let it sit for a little bit, and then I put on my setting spray. I dry that down, and then I start to blend. I personally do this because I feel like it gives me more coverage. As you can see, I didn't really use too much product under the eyes or on the forehead. So letting it sit down a little bit, lets it oxidize, and then putting on that setting spray and letting that dry down, it gives you full coverage. Remember, when blending, you want to start with the outer corners and then your inner corners. Right here, you just see me using my foundation brush. It doesn't have any product on it, but I'm going in to blend. Remember, no harsh lines. You want your products to be seamless from each product that you use. Nobody should be able to see, oh, you have concealer right here, or you have blush right here. Use your blushes and blend. Blend, blend, blend. Now I'm just going in with my foundation shade to clean up the tail end of my eyelash. You don't want to use the same color concealer for your whole eyebrow. You don't want bright eyebrows. Now we're doing natural. So go in with your foundation color just to clean up your tail end and now I'm going in with my e.l.f. liquid blush, and I'm only doing 2 dots on each side. This liquid blush is very pigmented. Little goes a long way. And you think that I say blend with your concealing and foundation? No, baby. This blush you really want to blend because it's so pigmented. You have to make sure that it's blended in completely. And because this is a full glam look, I'm doing a bright under eye. And this is 3 to 4 shades lighter than my actual complexion. To blend in my blush, I'm going to use a wet beauty blender and just blend it in. I sped that up because it really took me a long time to blend that out. And then I'm going to use a concealer brush and go in and blend in my highlight. Now I'm going in and I'm going to set my under eye. I'm using Morphe's Banana Rich translucent powder and one of the triangle beauty sponges and just pressing it in. I want to make sure that there are no creases under my eye before I put this translucent powder on. And you remember to set your wet products. So anything wet that you use, you want to use a powder to set that in place so it does not move. Right here, I'm going in with my Laura Mercier's translucent powder just to carve out my cheekbones, and it also makes it easier to do your contour and your bronzing. I'm also using this translucent powder to set all of my concealer, so that would be the bridge of my nose and my forehead. And to use my contour, I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Mocha Mami. And I'm going to put this right on top of my blush. I'm going to put this on both of my sides and also my forehead just to give it some warmth and definition. Now I'm going in with my MAC finishing powder and just cleaning up the places that I did my translucent powder. And then I'm also using this to blend all over my face. So I'm blending in my bronzer, my highlight, also blending the top of my forehead, making sure that there's no harsh lines or demarcation between my concealer and my foundation. And yeah, just using this to blend all over. And to contour my nose, I'm going to use the True Complexion light to medium shade palette. And I'm going to use the contour and just use a flat, dense brush to go in and contour the sides of my nose. For my lip, I'm going in with my lip gloss. This is Faces by Katie Orr in the shade Shirez. And I didn't use a lip liner because this lip gloss is kind of pigmented, so it doesn't need a liner. I'm going to set in my makeup with my Morphe Continuous Spray, and I'm going to dry that down. And then I'm going to go in with my foundation brush and just blend. Make sure that products are blended. There's no harsh lines. And yes, this is a finished product. I think I did really good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and let me know what looks you want to see next.